This call is now being recorded.
Okay, how is it going with it? Like the class, because that building on the foundation on, I'll be continuing on what I built rather. So I didn't have time to finish the those, what do you call those clauses again? The the having clause, where clause, field. I think select, order by. Yeah, there are a lot of clauses there. Okay, so I'll start with this material. It is okay. So I'm trying to add everything up together. All right. So we started with the aggregate function, and remember I said the aggregate function to provide a summary value for a set of values. All right. So it returns a single value, more like representing the whole range of data. Okay. So it's there are operations you can perform on some numeric entries, numeric data. Okay, and we're looking at the we're looking at the where clause is used to filter records. Okay, so you should know that the where clause is used to filter records based on specific conditions. And I walked us through different conditions, all right, in between function, the like, and logical operators and the likes, right? So I want to show us something today using those optional clauses. All right, so we'll start with the where clause briefly, and then I'll walk us through how to use the group by. Okay, so still under the DQL, data querying language. The main command there is what? Under the DQL, what's the main command? We walked through DDL, DML, and then DQL. What's the main command in DQL? Can anyone recall? Um, okay, let me give Beverly a chance to speak. I've heard Mary Jane and Modupe. Beverly, please go ahead.
Yes, is it select?
Yes, it's select. So what are the optional clauses there? Modupe, okay, go ahead.
Where group by having other by.
All right. So those are optional clauses, all right, and they have the way they operate. So this is what we'll do. So let's have a use case for the where clause. Okay, so we'll say, let's say we want to display. Do I have? Okay, let's just use database. Use database. What now? What's the name of our database? Staff database, right? Is there anything like staff database?
I think you have to remove the database before the staff database.
Okay. I'm always forgetting this syntax. Okay. All right. So what are we doing next? Can say use. Okay, no, we're using database, so we just say select all columns from where? What's the name of our table? Workforce or work table? Is it workforce?
Workers.
Workers.
Is workers.
Okay. Yeah, so you can see the table. All right. So still on this our data set here. So now let's say we want to select all the entries for the analyst. So the job title, all the entries for the job title analyst. I'm using analyst because it's just peculiar to who we are. All right. So using the where clause, I say using the where clause. Okay. So what I want to do now is to display the total entries. All right. Or no, not total. Display each entries for please give me a minute. Let me attend to something. Just a minute. So thank you. All right. So how do we do that? It's simple. I've walked us through it before. Can anybody walk me through? Okay. Modupe, go ahead, please.
Select select star from worker. Where
Okay, just another. I think I've walked us through. You could do something like this if you want to add comments. I don't know if I've shown us before. If we're writing multiple line of, there's another way to write it just in case. This is a way to write multiple lines of code, comment rather. Also, all right, go ahead.
select star from workers. Where I didn't get to see the other name of where the analyst is. Where the
Okay, this
other
is it.
name of that particular analyst. Okay.
Job title.
Okay, where job title equals to an inverted
Hold
comma
on,
analyst
hold on.
inside. All right.
Let's go together. Okay.
Select
Mm-hmm.
star from worker or ash. Is it
Okay.
star or ash? Sef?
Let's just work with three rows: staff ID, job title, and rating.
Okay,
Mm.
select asterisk from workers. Okay,
No, I don't
staff
want to return
ID.
all
Then
the rows, all the columns
sorry, I didn't
rather.
get that.
I don't want to return all the.
Yes. Oh, okay,
Okay.
okay.
I'm going somewhere. Continue.
All right. From
Okay.
workers, where job title equals to
Okay.
inverted comma job title, okay, equals to inverted comma analyst, then close the inverted comma.
Inverted comma.
Or
Okay.
the what's it
Double quote.
called?
Okay, yeah. None of them good. All right.
Okay, double quotation, yeah.
I was thinking I had bracket open.
No, no, no. I said inverted comma.
Analyst, right? Okay. Is that all?
Yes, that's all. Then you put like a column behind it, then you run the query.
So you can see what I just did that I wanted to return just 3 columns, not all. And this is all of them. So how many entries do we have? You see 16 entries for the job title analyst. So out of the 100 rows or entries in this data set, only 16 are recorded as analyst. All right. So this is not where I'm heading to anyway, but I want to touch on the other optional clauses under DQL. So now let's say we can also use the count. Sorry, we can also use the where clause in conjunction with an aggregate function. So this is what I'm going to now. So we're combining different clauses and aggregate function together. All right. So we are combining different aggregate functions with okay, I didn't capture it in this note. All right, so this is it now. Now you see we have 16 entries, right? These are all the entries. 16 and with their respective staff ID. So what we can deduce from this is that 16 staff members are working as an analyst within this company or firm, right? 16 out of the 100 record. So it's showing uniquely. So now let's use the count ID, the count function, all right, to count, that's to aggregate all of them. If you remember, I said this one displays each entries, so all the unique entries. But now we want to aggregate all of them using the count function. So we can say count total number of what analyst. All right. Total number. So this is the function. We'll say select. All right. Staff ID. This is just the number of I'm on to return each records with their staff ID. That's why I use the staff ID to say job title, rating. Okay. Now this is how we use the count function. So we say count everything. That's all the records as total count. Okay. From workers. Where job title equal analyst. Okay. So can you see what is returning in the result output? Do you know the difference? Let's remove this. Can anybody spot any difference? What do you think just happened? Are we together? Are we in the class? Let me be sure. Okay, what can we spot out here?
He gave the aggregates compared to the first one.
Okay. Yes, it gave the aggregate. We can still let me remove this rating so that we just have only job title. That will make more sense. Give the aggregates compared to the previous one, right? So we'll just know that the total count for all the analysts is 16. If we change this to which other position do we have there now? Is it executive? Something like let's check if there's executive. Okay, we have executive. So we have 13 entries. Right. You see gradually how everything is adding up to 100. So unlike this, it returned the entries for each of the staff. So we see that there are 16. I can see them here. 16 rows returned. Right. So we just use the aggregate function in conjunction with the where clause. All right. And this is how it's run. So any question? So let's look at the group by. All right. Let's take a look at the group by. Now I was trying to explain this in the last call, but we're already running out of time. So the group by clause, all right, is used to group rows that have same values in specified columns in summary rows, just to group them. It is often used with an aggregate function like sum, count, average, max, mean to perform calculations. All right, so these are examples. So let's take a look at this example, and we'll just use a different use case in our workbench right now. So basic grouping. So suppose you have a table sales. So this is product, this is region, this is the quantity. Okay. And now for every region, a product was sold: laptop, monitor, east, west, east. And this is total quantity. Yeah. So this is the syntax to find the total quantity sold for each. You know that thing where you open your Excel if you're working with your if you're working with your pivot table, for example, you have the subject and you have the qualifier, right? So if you want to count the total number of products, you just put in the subject, which is the product, into the, I think it's the row, and then you put your qualifier in the value field, and then you either select it as sum or distinct count, average. So this is just what the group by does. I was trying to explain it in the other class, the previous class. Okay, let me just run. Let me just give an example before I explain it using group by. Okay. So say now we've selected, we've run this query. Let me copy it, copy and paste here. Okay. So it's the same thing, but then I want to, okay, let me, the group by, what the group by does is that it works on aggregated data. All right. Hold on. Let me check for a note here. Okay, so if you run this query, this is what we have, 16 records, right? And then the group by, it groups all unique values together. So if you do a manual count here, we have just 16 rows. Okay, let's count how many times does the analyst have a rating of 8 here? Let's count together. This is staff ID. This staff member who has an ID of 7, he's an analyst and he got a rating or job performance of 8. So how many times does this record appear on our data? How many times do we have similar records like this? Now, this is the staff ID colon is exempted from when we see this, when we see something like this. This is the definition. Okay, it's used to group rows that have same values in specified columns. The keyword here is used to group rows. These rows can still be called records or entries that have this is the keyword same values, and this is another keyword in specified columns. So now the column that I specified here, the column that were specified here for this example I want to use now is just job title and rating. Okay, so this staff ID is a unique identifier, so of course you won't take note of it. So now if we look at the result output here for this where query that I just ran, you can see that. So let's count it together. I need an answer. How many records here have how many similar values do we have for this kind of record analyst and with a rating of 8? How many? Let's look at it manually and so that we understand what's happening in the back end. So we have 1, we have 2, and then we have 3 here. Okay, so this, and this. Okay, so we have 3 records. So what group by is going to do, it will aggregate it. All right, it will group the analyst that has a rating of 8 as 1. Then it will look for analyst that has a rating of 1. Unfortunately, we have only 1 here, so it will group that. So look for analyst that has a rating of 9. All right, see, we have another one here that has a rating of 9. Okay, and then analysts that have a rating of 7, we have 7 here. We have another 7, depending on the specified column. So I'm using 2 columns here. You can use multiple columns. You can use single columns. So what it's going to do now, take note now, it will group all of this. It will group analysts with a rating of 7 into 1. Do we understand this explanation? Okay, so let me just run this. So we'll say I can still use my count here, count. Okay, I say group by job, title, and rating. I hope my something is showing error here. Let's run this first. Can anybody troubleshoot where that error is coming from? Okay. Nobody hand up. Mudupe?
Between rating and count, there's no comma. There's meant to be comma.
All right. Okay, that's true. Thank you. Thank you very much. So when we run this is what will happen. Now wait before I execute that. Let's run this query first so the group buys works on hold on first. Let's run this. I want to show you something. So these are the entries, right? And we have 16 rows returned. So of course, when you run it, when it aggregates this, should the row increase or decrease? If you aggregate it into one summary value, it will decrease. So this is what I mean. So if you now select, if you run this, you can see we no longer have 16 records again. We have 10 records. You know what just happened? It has aggregated all of them. So remember we counted the rating where we counted the number of records where we had job title as analyst and rating as 8 to be 3 counts. All right, that's why I wanted to do it manually. It's a small data set so that we see what's happening in the back end. So you will understand when you now begin to run queries on a lot of rows. So you can see that we have this kind of record where we have analysts who have a rating of 8 3 times from these 16 records that we returned before. And then analyst for 1, we had it just 1 time. 9, we had 2. So to confirm this, at least the data set is a bit is small. So let's take a look at analyst with 8 and analyst with 6. So you see that with 6 there are 2 records found, and with 8 there are 3. So if we run this again, run this query again, you can see, let's count for 8. 1, 2, 3. I don't think we have any other one again. Then for analyst for, is it 6? I made mention of 6. We have 1. Then we have another one here, 2. So if we run this, you can see that of 6, we have 2 entries here, and that of 8, we have 3 entries. So what the group by does is that it aggregates similar values, okay, into a summary value, not a summary, yes, into a summary value based on conditions on your or the specified columns. So it said it's used to group rows that have similar values in specified columns into summary rows, not summary values into summary rows. Okay, there's a difference between summary values and summary. What the aggregate function does is that it gives you a summary value. This gives you a summary row. It's often used with aggregate functions like sum count. So you see, I just used the aggregate function to count all of them. So we can, so if you are just all of these are called queries. Okay, you are querying your data, you are requesting response from your data. How many analysts, so you can, how many analysts have a rating of this amount, like that. So you can use the where in conjunction with different conditions here greater than or equal to. You can use the like, you can use the between, you can use the logical conditions and like. So all of these are just basic, because when we're working on our project, we'll get to touch all of this intro I'm giving, right? So we can group by job title, we can group by, so let's group using, let's see if this will work. Let's group using 1 colon. So you can see it has given us 16 counts, but if we use multiple colons, it will split it rating, right? So any question? Do we understand what the group by does? Definitely. Okay.
Yes, I just want to. Okay, this just came to my head. Does the group by like have any similarities with like histogram? Don't think that makes sense.
I'm trying to make
Hello.
sense of it.
Oh, okay, like summarizing. You know how
Hello, are you there? Okay.
yes, I'm here.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes, you know how histogram summarizes like the count of something and maybe groups it into like
Being
one.
okay.
I don't know how to explain it, but don't think that makes sense. But if it doesn't, let's just move ahead.
Okay, I think, what do you think the histogram is used for?
No, it's to visualize now the frequency of
Okay.
distribution.
Yes. To visualize the frequency of distribution.
Yeah.
What type of data is on your x and y axis?
Mm, For X, what can I remember?
So that you know what these colons, these graphs are used for. So, but
Okay.
I think I get your question. Okay, so
Okay.
Modupe wants to say something. Let me see if you can. Oh yeah, Modupe, go ahead. Is there a question or contribution? Modupe, are you there? Okay, so the group, this I think the histogram helps to understanding components of descriptive statistics. That's it's used to, how do I put it now, visualize numeric variables, quantitative variables. Okay, so I, I didn't really get the question anyway, but I don't know, or maybe you might want to rephrase this in a different way. Like, what connecting link can you see between the variable, this group by and the histogram? Beverly, is it Beverly that asked?
How? Yes, it's me. I mean, how
Okay.
it groups something that's similar now, like you said, right?
Yes. Okay, that one that is
Yes.
similar. No, you put them into bins. Like, remember when doing list and bins, data segmentation in Power BI. Let's say
Yeah.
a group range, an age range of 10 to 15 years. It puts them into a bin. All right. And then you
Yeah.
now have it summarizes it into, that's on the y, this is y, this is x, on the x axis, and then you have the counts on the y axis. So
Okay.
it's almost similar, but they only have their differences anyway. I get what you're trying to say. So it's
Yeah.
almost,
That-
but so it's different. It's different because this is grouping it based on the same value, yes, the same value. Unlike the
okay.
histogram that you can put a range of values. The same is different
Okay.
from range.
Okay. That's where my mind went to.
All right. Mudupe, your hands are up. Do you want to say something? Okay, let's move on. So that's the group by. Okay, you can go through the notes. They are just basic examples here. Combination with having. This is the next thing I want to touch. The having clause. So the having clause is used to group to filter groups based on aggregate condition. All right, so you can use group by with multiple columns. You just saw that I used it now. Group by product and region. What I used here was group by job title and rating. All right, so I won't take time with all of this because all of this is really self-explanatory. So you can, there's another one called order by. I will show us as we progress now. So let's check out the having clause. All right, let's check out the having clause. You can see we use group by with aggregates. We use group by with multiple columns. Having clause. This is what we touch. Order by, and so let's look at the having clause. So the having clause is used to filter the result of a group by. All right, so in order of execution, the having clause comes after group by. In order of execution, the having clause comes after group by because it says it's used to filter the result. That means is used to filter all of this. What I just returned here. Okay, by operation based on aggregate function results. On the definitions, used to filter the result of a group by operation rather based on aggregate function. Okay, so let's see how it works. So can say using having okay, so let's copy this same code. So I'll copy this query here and paste. Now see, this is what happens. Let's look at the syntax first. All right, so you can see this is the syntax. Select the colon names, or you can use all the colon, then an aggregate function from a table, then group by. You see, it's coming before group by. Sorry, it's coming after group by. So I think what will help us is that we have to understand the syntax very well, like understand the syntax. That's the building block. So that I won't begin to make mistake. Okay. So the having clause in MySQL is used to filter the results of a group by. So that means the group by must have run first before querying or using the having clause as a query. So it comes after the group by. Okay. Based on aggregate function result, based on what this aggregate function, based on aggregate function result, or you can also include your aggregate function here. So this is the having condition. All right, so let's practicalize it. So I want this query to return the staff, all these unique staff IDs alongside the job titles rating using this aggregate function, counting all of them as total from this table where I've put a condition where the job title is equals to analyst. I'm still working with analyst so that we can have a good understanding of what we're doing. Then group the result. Okay, group the result by job title and rating. That's what I want to see. So to filter this condition, let's take a look at this again. All right, so this total count column here is an aggregated column. All right, so it is telling us that there are 3 records where we have these same values. Analyst who has a rating of 8, and this last column here is telling us that there's just one entry where we have analysts with a rating of 5. So now the having is used to filter the result of the group by clause, all right, based on aggregated queries. So we include the having here. This is the order of execution. We say having, okay, and then the condition, because of this is the syntax, all right. The condition, you can see it from the definition. It is used to filter the result of a group by operation based on aggregate function results. All right. So we're still using the count. So we say return all the records, okay, where from this result that is in our output here. Now return all the records where each record, where the aggregated record is greater than or equal. This is an example we can use where it's greater than 2. Take a look at what it will do now. So these are the records rather. So let me run this query now and let's see what it will return. It has reduced the records or the output of our query. Before I explain further, can anyone interpret what just happened? If I run this, yes, if I run this, okay, this is what it gives us. Before I even move further, let me walk us down again. I want to count total. Yes, I want to display the total entries for analysts. All right, and this was the condition I used, the query. So it returned all the unique entries for all the analysts, give us 16 rows, and then I move forward to count the total number. No, let me still use the. Okay, let me use this as analyst. So I move forward to count the total number. It gave us 16. I see where we are coming from. So I use the group by, all right, to group the unique values based on the specified column names I gave, job title and rating. Okay. So it grouped all of them and aggregated them. So we have 3 records of this same value. We have 2 records of analysts who has a rating of 3. Okay. So now, from the definition of having now, having is used, keyword here, filter. It used to filter the results of a group by operation based on aggregate function results. So so if you just want to understand it or recall, is that the having is used to filter. This is the keyword you should take home. The having is used to filter the results of a group by. That means in order of execution, it comes after group by, after a group by operation must have been performed. So now what I want to take note of is the filter is used to filter the result of a group by. So if we come back here, all right, so this is the group by query, the output for the query. So now let's use the having, okay, with the same condition of the group by. I just included having, and it's giving me, see the condition here, count all the rows and return all the entries that's greater than 2. Can anybody try, before I explain, can anybody try to know what happened in the back end, like what just happened with this condition? Having it in mind that it is used to filter the result of a group by. That means it is filtering this output here. It is filtering this. And if you hear the word filter, goes hand in hand with condition. It is used to filter the result. This is the result of our group by. But then now it's used to filter the result of our group by. What's happening? Okay. It's used to filter the result of. So can anybody try? Let me run this again. Okay, Mary Jane, your hand is up.
Okay, so in this very condition, the having, what it did was to return only the row that met the criteria that was greater than 2, and that was the analyst with the rating of 8.
That was
Hello?
greater than 2. Okay, that was analysis rating of 8. Okay, hold on there. I'll come back to you. Yanu,
Okay.
let me hear you.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Ife.
Yes, good evening.
Okay, the having condition is to filter, is to let us see, let whatever, please can you go back to the sorry, so that I can say it well.
Okay, I was thinking
The
you needed help
having is
with the
like a
definition.
condition that filters out
You need the note
an
or the
the
workbench.
rating.
You need the note.
No, yes, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, the having condition is to filter the rating that has anything above 2, that has any count above 2. So from our result, we can see that rating 8 has analysts that there are 3, and that's the only one that made the condition. So
Beautiful. Okay, both of you are correct. Mary Jane.
Okay, so no, there's no problem. I don't have anything to say again. Like, it's the same thing she said.
Okay. So that's what. So this is the project we're working on. To be a sales data anyway. So we'll make use of all of this. But if you observe, the data I'm using is just limited to 100 rows, and I'm making us count it manually. Why? Because so that we'll know what's happening back in, so that by the time we are working with data of about thousands of rows, millions of rows as we advance, we already have a solid foundation. So you can see both of you are very correct. So what I wanted us to know is that just understand the definitions. Okay, understand the definitions. Understand it. It is similar to, look at it exactly. I didn't even read it. It is similar to the where clause, but it's specifically designed to work with aggregated data. So you might not get everything at this point now. So you see how it is similar to, okay, let's see how it's similar to where clause. How is it similar to where clause, class? You say it is similar to where clause. Please, how? It is similar to where clause. Let's read the note again. It is similar to the where clause, only that it is specifically designed to work with aggregated data. Why are the hands going up and coming down? Ianu, somebody else raised a hand. Is it Beverly? Who wants to try? How is it? You say it is similar. When you hear the word similar. Okay. Yeah, let's hear Victoria. Victoria, go ahead. I'm trying to give everybody the chance to speak.
Okay, good evening, sir.
Yes, good evening, ma'am.
It's similar to wear cloth because they do the same job of filtering, but the difference is that the having is used when using group by.
Beautiful. So you can see what the where clause does. There's a condition. So the where clause used to filter data. We filtered all the entries that has analysts as a job title, right? So it just sampled the data into smaller chunks. So look at it, this is a condition. So if we run this now, it has filtered it. What it means is that it is working on the result of this group by. Right? So understand the order of execution so that you won't come and put having before group by. You will troubleshoot and so that I don't come and put having before group by. Okay? Hey, what have I done? I seen. So this is not the order of thing. Even if you carry this semicolon here, it will not work, it will not run. I think it's already giving an error. So just like saying in the order of execution, it's like saying if I want to say Beverly, how are you? You understand me. But if I come and say Beverly, you are how, or are how you, I think so there's an order of execution. Do you understand? So I used to have one what's it called? I would type it out and share. But time is really a factor now. The order of execution, how it is executed. If you have time, you could even browse it by yourself. How queries are executed. I have a written note on that. Maybe I should share it with us. Yeah, let me carry this back again. Okay, so if you run this, please take time to understand. What's happening? Okay. All right. So we've gotten the answer. So what it means is that select all the columns, all the entries that have that from this group by result that is greater than 2. So if we change, so if let's count it manually now. That is greater than 2. Let's count it manually now. Maybe for those that might have not been able to catch it. So greater than 2. What did he return, Seth? Let's check this again. So it says it returns analyst, the job title analyst that has a rating of 8. Can someone interpret it now with this with result of the group by? Okay, because of time, so look at it now. So it returned job rating, that's job title analyst 8 with the total count of 3. That means this is the record that has entries that's greater than 3. So if we change the condition here and say greater than or equal to 2, so we've reduced the threshold. So it was only returning greater than 3, greater than 2. So we've put equals to 2, the threshold will drop. Okay, so let's change the condition so you can see total count. Can anybody interpret this now from the definition of having? One person should just interpret this. Remember, the having, it works It's used to filter the result of a group by. That means what it's doing now is filtering. I'm just trying to iterate it again, just to reinforce our learning. It's filtering this. So can anybody interpret this? Can anybody interpret this having query that I just run rather? I hope you understand though. Let me know if you don't understand, if you have any question. Hello, I'm not getting any response. Victoria, why is the class? I'm not even getting any thumbs up. Can we hear me? Are we together? Or we don't understand? Let me go over it again. Victoria.
All right, sir. The having clause here says greater than or equal to 2, which means after grouping it, after the group by, it will pick all the where they have a total of rating from 2 and above.
So it's filtering. So you see, we have just 10 records here. So how many? So okay, you can mute your mouth, your mic rather. All right. So let me explain it. Or Mary Jane, do you want to walk us through?
Okay, so what I wanted to say was the results, the greater than equal to 2 brought back the job title and the ratings of analysts in different, how do I want to say it now? I've even forgotten. Please, sir, can you like run the query again?
Okay. Can you see it?
Okay, yeah. So what the having did was to filter out the roles that of job titles, like they filtered out the roles that had the total count that was greater than and equal to 2. Yeah.
As a result from what?
From the group by for the job title and rating.
Okay. So let's manually look at it now. So you can see greater than or equal to 2. How many records do we have that are greater than or equal to 2 here? Let's count together. 1. This is 2, 3, 4, 5. So the having is filtering just those 5 out. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Are we together, class? Do we understand? So it's filtering the result of the group by. That's why it comes after the group by. All right. So let me walk us through, I think, a couple of things, and then we'll call it a day here. And we'll work on our project in our next class. There's something I want to also show us. So I want to show us. So there's another optional clause that is called the order by clause. So it's used to order things, just like in Excel when you want to order by descending or ascending order. It's the same thing here. Okay, so we say using the order by clause. So we'll just copy the same thing again. Control C. So let's say we want to order it in ascending or descending order. So I drop this colon down here and say order by. I see in the order of execution. So what comes before which? Order by clause. Okay, so we want to order it by the total count. Okay, so we'll just run this. So you can see, what do we observe? It has ordered it. So this is the order by clause. If you want to use the order by, this is what are you ordering it by? Yeah, we're ordering, we want to order it by the total count. So by default, SQL orders it in ascending order 2, 2, 2, 2, 3. Okay. But let's say we want to order it in a descending or ascending order. So I can say order. Are we together, class? Either by ascending or descending order. So we can order it. We can even order it by, like I said, you can order it by anything. Look at, you can order it by total count. You can order it by the rating too. So let's just use the rating. It's still ideal. So you say rating. Okay. But you see now, this 9 will come down and 3 will come up. If I do it like this, so all of this is a way of presenting your data. Sorting is, and this is under sorting to sorting your data. So you can see I've ordered it by the rating. So we have 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. So let's say we want to order it, you want to specify it now. By default, it orders it by this descending or ascending order. So if you want to order it by descending, let's say I want to see in use cases like, let's know the total highest revenue, total maybe bet rate or anything. So you can decide to order it in the descending order. So copy this and paste here. Okay, so you can see order by rating. Okay, let's use rating, and we use this keyword here, descending. DS, is it DSC again? Oh no, how do you spell descend? DCS. Sorry, not okay. Yeah, is this one. Okay, and then when we run it, you can see. So by descending, we have 98763. So we're ordering it by rating. So this is a way of viewing your data in your result output. All right, so that's it with the order by. You can as well change it to ascending, but there's no point, because by default, if you want it, you leave it like that. Okay, ascending 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the syntax is very user friendly. It's intuitive. Okay, so it's very intuitive. Any question at this point? Do we understand? Okay, so thank you. So all of these are optional clauses, all right? And let me introduce you to one last one, which is so we've used the order by, we've used the having clause, we use the group by. Don't mind the names, they're just funny names, but understand what it does. All right. So just know that you cannot use group. So order by is usually it comes at the end of all of this query, of all of these clauses. Okay, so even after having or group by, if you want to stop your query with where, you can also use the having. You can also use the order by. All right, so let's try it. Order by. What did this query run? Okay, we don't have any numeric. Okay, let's order by total count. Okay, just we don't have rules. But what I'm trying to do here is that you must not only follow this format, like from select from group by having until before you can use order by. Depends on what you are. Okay, let me put an additional where job title equals is and the rating is greater than or equal to 2. Okay, so now let's use the order by here. I think it should work. Okay, why is it not run? Let me check this query. Hold on. Select count as total. Okay. Okay, I'm using an aggregate function here. Let me get rid of this. Let's use this instead. So you can see where job title is equals to analyst. Or let's use something else. Let's see what is in our table. So that job title. Let's use technician. Red technician is equals to this and what and rating greater than or equals to 2. Can say order by rating. Hold on first. Check something. Mm, I'm probably missing something here. Okay, I'll come to that. Let me leave that first. But let me show you. Let me show you one more. Let me show you the last function. I'll resolve that. So we can use if we want to now limit our records. Okay, I can say control copy and I'll paste this. So we can say if you want to limit our records, you can use another function called limit. You can say limit the entries to just 5 records. Okay. If we run this is what we get, 5. If we reduce the condition to, let's say, 1, so that we have a lot of entries, we can say, okay, let me remove the limit first, so that we'll see how it looks like. If I run this is what we'll have. So we have 10 rows, all right, because I just reduced the condition. 10 rows was returned. So I can say limit to just the top 3. Limit to top 3. So out of the 10 rows that were returned, to just give us 3. These are the optional clauses. Are you seeing? So it has given us the first 3 rows. So this is a way of presenting your data, sorting your data and filtering. It's almost the same thing like filtering and sorting in Excel too. This is how you do it here. So only that you're using optional clauses like this. So show us how to use the where clause, the group by clause, the having clause, the order by, and then the limit. These 5 optional clauses under the DQL. So this is data querying language. All right. And then you can see use the ascending and descending. Okay, do we understand up to this point? Do you have anybody has any question? Okay. All right. So so during the week, our next class will be on Wednesday. All right, our next class will be on Wednesday. I want to walk us through a project. There's a topic I want to show us before we progress. But you would do me a favor. I would share because of time, there are a lot of things I want to cover, but we need to end everything we're doing this week. All right, so there are topics I would still want to touch. I would send a YouTube video. Are we
Sir,
here?
can hear you.
All right, so I'll send a video. All right, so you just do me a favor by going to watch the video. Okay, I'm supposed to take you on joins, types of joins in SQL. So I'll send a YouTube video. Please watch that video. It's mandatory. It's mandatory. Watch the video before our next class. Okay. So in case I'm not able to cover it, because I want us to work on a project where it's a capstone project together. So in case I'm not able to touch it, so you watch the video on joins. It gives you the reason I'm sending the video because it will give you a pictorial view. It will help me. It will help me explain better if you can have a pictorial view of what join is actually doing. So it's just, I think, how many minutes video? It's a short video clip on YouTube. So I will send the video. So if we are going to watch it, can I get a thumbs up, please? All right. So it's easy. Joins. You're working with multiple tables in SQL. All right. So so this is it for today's class. All right. Thank you so much. This is it for today's class. I'll prepare the project we'll work on. So we might likely start the project on Wednesday. So inform your colleagues too that are not in class also, and so that we can we can work on it together. So hopefully, by God's grace, Friday we should be done. If I will set class, a fixed class, I will let us know on time. All right, and so, and also another assignment. And before we work on a project, please, if you want to follow along in real time, ensure that you must have watched the previous videos that I've been teaching on SQL. Please, it would help me. It will help you too, because I would walk us through everything I've been doing, but it will be in a more practical sense. So I'm just showing us with this small chunk of data to work with a voluminous amount of data so that we can have a feel of all of this. So those are the key things. And then I will explain better on the other execution of all these queries, what should come before which. So there's a lot of things actually, but I'm trying to just touch the basic things before we wrap it up. This class should have ended in November, but because of a little lags and some little challenges. All right, so that's why we had this extended class. So at least with this basic, very well, you can advance your learning. Okay, so thank you so much for today. I would have to go off now. The attendance, I'm seeing attendance here on the. Yes, so uh is it yeah, please fill the attendance if you are active. Fill the attendance. Is there okay, there's a link. Okay, there's no link. Okay. Okay, so since it's a fixed class, all right. It's actually not a fixed class because I just rescheduled, and so it's not an additional class. So it wouldn't count. It wouldn't count. So um all right, any other question before I end the call? All right. In the absence of any other question or concern, thank you, everyone. See you next time. All right. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, you're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye, everyone.
Yes. Nishaki.
Nukuri ndakubwiza ukuri numva nabuze ico ntora
Hmm?
nabuze ico mfata